Misfits, before we jump into today's episode, I want to share something very special with you. After hosting over 450 episodes of the Misfit Entrepreneur and sitting down with some of the world's top founders, investors, and high performers, I started to notice something. Different industries, different backgrounds, different paths, but the same patterns kept showing up. So I distilled those patterns into a short, powerful guide called The Misfit Code: 21 Uncomfortable Truths from 450 plus entrepreneurs. This isn't motivational fluff, it's not theory, and it's definitely not the recycled advice that you hear everywhere else. In fact, it's a fast paced, practical playbook that you can read in one sitting and then apply immediately to help you execute better, raise your standards, break through to your next level. And if you know you're capable of more, or you feel like you've outgrown where you are, or if you're tired of knowing what to do but not executing consistently, this guide was created for you. You can download it for free right now by going to misfitentrepreneur.com/truths. That's misfitentrepreneur.com/truths. Grab the guide, read it in one sitting, and then come back and work through one misfit truth per day. All right, with that said, let's jump into today's episode. Hello, Misfit Entrepreneurs. Welcome to another special solo episode of the Misfit Entrepreneur. I love these episodes where I share the best concepts, thought leadership that I can find to help you in your entrepreneur journey. And as a reminder, if you're new to watching us on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button below, give this video a like and comment as well. We do our best to respond to all comments as timely as possible. Today, I want to talk about something that's been circulating out there called the dog theory. When I saw it, it immediately grabbed my attention because it connects directly to something that I've believed and taught for many years. So here's the idea. Dogs wake up every day excited to see the same people, eat the same food, walk the same route. I know, I got four of them. And somehow, though, they're happier than most humans, and they are, right? Isn't it amazing? If you've got a dog, it's nothing better than your dog greeting you at the door, or just when you wake up in the morning, it's just a great feeling, right? So think about that for a second. Same bowl, same house, same walk, same humans, just pure joy. And meanwhile, we as, entrepreneurs or just humans in general are constantly chasing that next thing, that next upgrade, that bigger deal, that better city, better house, technology, everything. But what if happiness doesn't come from more? What if it comes from enough? And what if our urge to constantly change things, what I've called for many years and coined as what is just a phrase, the chaos switch, is actually sabotaging us? So let me break this down for you. So the core of the dog theory is pretty simple. Dogs don't search for more, they celebrate enough. They don't compare themselves to the neighbor's dog. They don't scroll social media. They don't worry about whether they're winning at life. Their nervous systems are wired around two things: love and safety through routine. Routine equals safety. Safety equals calm. Calm equals joy. Their eyes light up like every day is a brand new day, even if it's identical to yesterday. Now, contrast that with us as entrepreneurs and just, striving individuals. We live in a constant state of comparison pursuit. We tell ourselves things like, I'd be happy when I hit, X million in revenue or a million in revenue, right? I'll relax when we exit the business. My gosh, have I thought that a number of times on different entities over the years. And I'll enjoy life once this next big thing happens. But here's the truth. Your brain adapts incredibly fast. The new car, exciting for a week. It's nice. The revenue milestone feels good for a few days. And then what are we right back at it, right? The new gadget, old news, it doesn't take long till it's an old gadget. That dopamine fades, but the simple repeated things, the things we experience every day, those stay meaningful if we pay attention. And for a lot of us, that's sometimes the part that we've forgotten, right? This really connects to directly to a principle that I've talked about for a long time as well, is that discipline equals freedom. And, Jocko Willink, in his books, made that thing because it's from the military and that sort of thing. But, it isn't about grinding yourself into the ground. It's about structure, creating space. Dogs thrive because of a disciplined routine. Same walk, same feeding time, same familiar faces. The routine lowers their stress, it reduces uncertainty, it gives them stability. And from that stability comes joy. If you think about life as an entrepreneur, when you stick to a proven business model, when you execute the same high value and level activities every day, when you follow your system without deviation, what happens, right? You eliminate the emotional swings, you reduce the decision fatigue, you build momentum. And that's the hard part, because honestly, success is consistency. It's not flashy, right? It's not boiler room. It's almost like water dripping on a rock, just consistently happening, dripping on a rock. And, in my investing side of what I've done for over 20 years, investing education and everything, those are the biggest breakthroughs that I've had. They didn't come from necessarily inventing new strategies every week. They came from executing the same edge consistently over time, making myself the house and not the gambler, and taking that edge, and you know how casinos work. There's just a little bit of an edge. In fact, a lot of people don't know that the odds of winning in a Vegas casino on blackjack are over 46%. But it's that little 3 point whatever percent that allows that casino to come out on top in the end every time. And it's kind of the same thing, right? That's that water dripping on a rock. And so, the discipline that you have creates that freedom from panic, freedom from impulsive decisions, freedom from stress. Structure reduces cortisol, scientific, that's been studied. Familiarity increases safety. Consistency builds confidence. But most entrepreneurs sabotage this because of one thing, that chaos switch. The chaos switch is that internal itch that tells you to blow everything up, even when things are working and working well. You've got consistent revenue, your team's aligned, your product's selling, your strategy's proven, right? But your brain says, well, let's pivot, let's rebrand, let's build on top of this right now, let's add 5 new offers, let's chase the newest trend, and so on and so on, where if you just keep water dripping on a rock, it compounds and builds and everything else. Now, that doesn't say, I'm not saying that you don't innovate and, keep up and make sure that you are the best in your space in the market and stuff. Of course you do that. But you don't just change things that work because for the sake of change, right? It's not because something is broken. It's because you're bored, and boredom feels uncomfortable. Again, back to, it's not flashy. It's not sexy. It's just, consistency, right? Dogs don't flip the chaos switch. They don't wake up and decide they're tired of their life and need to move cities, right? They create meaning through repetition. Humans think meaning comes in a lot of ways, a lot of times from novelty, but novelty can fade fast. And things like gratitude compound. And that's where entrepreneurs and just really individuals, of all kinds get into trouble. You can ruin something great chasing something unnecessary. Before you make a major change, just ask yourself, is this strategic, or am I just uncomfortable with consistency because I've been doing the same thing for a while, right? If it's strategic, great. If not, rethink it, right? So how do we apply the dog theory? Well, first, what you want to identify your daily walk, right? What's the consistent activity that actually drives success? And, you hear like 80-20 rule, 90-10 rule. There's a few things you do every day that actually make the biggest difference. What are those? And, can you do them consistently, right? For some entrepreneurs, it's sales conversations. For others, it's content creation. For others, it's product improvement or relationship building. You got to find your daily walk. You got to protect it at all cost. And then second, you got to install structure on purpose, right? Create routines that remove decision fatigue. A consistent morning routine, a dedicated strategy block, a weekly review. Structure creates safety. Safety fuels creativity. And third, pause before you pivot. When you feel the urge to overhaul something, ask, is this broken or am I just bored? Sometimes innovation is necessary, like I said, but often restraint is the real power move. So kind of wrap this all up, right? The dog theory reminds us of something pretty powerful. You don't need a new life. You need new eyes. Happiness isn't waiting at the next milestone. It's available in the routine that you have right now every day. Discipline equals freedom. Routine equals stability. And stability allows joy. So Today, live a little bit more like a dog. Be excited for your same bowl. Be grateful for your same walk. And resist flipping the chaos switch unless it's truly necessary. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another entrepreneur who needs to hear it. And as always, subscribe so you never miss an episode. And look forward to seeing you in the next one of these. In the meantime, go out, kick some butt, create some freedom, build that business. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Misfit Entrepreneur.